On September 28th, 2022, players on Hypixel Skyblock were awaiting the next major update, Skyblock Levels. This update, which had been tested on the alpha network multiple times in the last few weeks, was nearing completion and many expected it to be out soon. Players were excited for this one, and particularly because it was tested on the alpha network. For once, nothing would go horribly wrong. 20 minutes later, and once it released on the main server, everything went horribly wrong. My name is Derailious, and this is the story of Hypixel Skyblock's worst glitch. Now you may be wondering, how does an update that just adds levels into the game create a game-breaking bug, something so terrible and something so awful that it needed almost immediate attention? And the answer is that levels didn't really do it at all, but the Emerald Blade did. You see, the Emerald Blade is an item that gets more damage the more coins you have in your purse. It's supposed to be a risk-reward sort of strategy. However, with so many ways to not lose coins in the game now, the admins decided that the coins basically made the Emerald Blade too easy. And in order to add some more risk into this structure, they decided to add a new debuff to the Emerald Blade itself, called Curse of Greed. Curse of Greed bypassed everything. Everything you had, including booster cookies, potion effects, the bank perk on armor, all of that was bypassed, and you would simply lose coins on death. Sounds pretty simple, right? However, there's one key problem here. It wasn't on the alpha network when the Skyblock Levels update was tested. It wasn't even known to the public until the moment the patch notes came out. But by then, things were already taking a really bad turn. About 5 minutes after the update released, players began immediately complaining, and it wasn't just a minor complaint at all. They were losing all of their coins, every last one. It was going through pretty much every buff they had, and it was really bad. You see, the way this actually occurred was pretty simple. If you had a weapon, and you hit a mob, you would get the Curse of Greed debuff for a minute, meaning if you died within the next minute, you would lose every coin you actually had. Now, the admins were pretty quick to patch this one up, and within a few minutes, there was a patch rolled out that would actually fix this major glitch. However, the problem is it wasn't really fixed at all, and they just applied a band-aid solution. You see, all the admins really did was make it so you couldn't lose coins. An effective solution, but it didn't fix the underlying problem, which would remain in the game for a few hours longer. Now, you may be thinking, well, if this only lasted for about 20 minutes, is it really that bad of a glitch? Is it really the worst one to ever occur in Skyblock? And my answer is probably still yes. You see, the reason why this one is particularly bad is that even though people are getting refunded, and even though no one really lost coins unless you're one of the few that didn't actually get a refund, the fact of the matter is this. There was no transparency on this change at all. No one knew that this Curse of Greed thing was going to be added to the game, and no one was expecting it when it just started wiping people's items out of nowhere. A lot of times when there's a wipe glitch or something similar in Skyblock, people tend to know about it, or at the very least it gets disseminated fairly quickly, meaning that most people can avoid it. This one was so easy for the average player to do that there was no chance for the average player to actually avoid it. The only one like this that I can think of is when you shift-click the helmet and it would just delete itself in the wardrobe, and even that one was steps harder than this one was. The fact that this was just so ubiquitous, and the fact that it made it onto the main server, really goes to show that there's very little testing actually done on parts of the update that aren't included on the alpha network, which is what the alpha network is built for. I really don't understand the purpose of having an alpha network if the admins refuse to use it to test the updates they make. It's very clear there's very little beta testing going on for a lot of these things, because the admin couldn't even get in the game and hit a mob with a weapon other than the Emerald Blade to test if they got the debuff. If they did, none of this would have happened. That is very simple basic level testing, and it just did not occur. It could have occurred on alpha, but it just didn't. And that's what makes this the worst glitch in Skyblock's history. One that really shows that the admins are putting, well, maybe a lot of effort into the game itself, but not a lot of effort into testing it or giving us the tools to test it. The alpha network is the biggest mistake the admins have going right now. They really should make it so that players have an actual reason to log in, a reason to test updates, a reason to make sure that the game is functional. But right now, all the alpha network really is a reason for YouTubers like me to log on and make a video. And as much as I like that opportunity, I would much rather the game actually run properly, because things like this really erode player trust over a long period of time. A lot of people have been quitting recently, and one of the main reasons I hear is because the admins don't really seem to care. And if they don't, well, why should they play? That's a fair reason, and one that I thought about for a while, but I do like this game, and I like it a lot. Enough to where I'd rather, talk about this and put my word out there, rather than just letting this dry up. Overall though, my name is Derailious. This has been the worst glitch in Skyblock history. Hopefully we don't get a worse one. And look to the future, fellas, because I will see you then.